So I was at dinner with my friend the other night, actually a whole bunch of friends, and one of the guys that I was chatting to were chatting about all the different things happening, going on in the world, and all that sort of stuff. Nothing too crazy, but then of course we got onto the topic of AI, the big topic, and obviously, as you and I both know, AI has been around for quite some time. We've got our phones, we've got all that stuff going on, our apps, and all that sort of stuff. So there's been a lot of that happening, but obviously this last sort of year or so, it's just been going bunter and everyone's all over it now. Well, it seems like that anyway. And we're just chatting about, what it means, what it means to have all this stuff going on and what the future might look like and all that sort of stuff. And, we got to chatting about how, really, I was holding a fork at the time because obviously we're at dinner. And I was like, this fork can be used, is a tool, like AI is a tool, and this fork can be used to eat this amazing dinner, or it can be used to sort of stab someone in the eye. I mean, have you ever been in a meeting? Side note, I used to think this in meetings, sorry, just to go off topic for a sec, but when you're in the corporate world and you were just sitting there and the meeting was so bad, you just like imagine sticking a fork in your eye. But yeah, don't do that because I think that would hurt a lot. But anyway, the point of the story was that the tool, AI, it's the intention behind it and what it's being used for. And obviously, if you've got some knob jockeys in charge of it and using it for nefarious shit, well, that is one possibility. But there's also the possibility of it being used for good as well too. And I guess it comes down to the fact too is what are we afraid of and fear? Like if we stay in fear about it, if we stay in fear about what could go wrong, well, we're adopting and embodying that frequency. And obviously, if there is some fear there, if there's something around there, like that's to be looked at too. Like, give yourself some credit. If you're feeling fear, like look at it. What's it bringing up for you? And then if there, and I'm not just talking about AI, by the way. I'm talking about sort of anything like that. Like if something's bubbling up to the surface, that's an awesome opportunity to go, okay, there's something there for me to look at. And maybe there's something there to heal. Maybe there's something there to honor, give love to, Like so many of us have, when you think about it, really, like we are like all these little inner children in adult bodies. So many of us, and so many of us just want love. So many of us just want to be given the hug that we never got. So many of us just want to be seen and heard and valued for who we are, and just given that thing, And so ultimately it's up to us to give that to ourselves, because when we do that, we can give it to others. And so I'm just picturing, I don't know if you've seen that. I think, like, I haven't been to it, but it's that, what's that festival? Oh, Burning Man. And they had those big, like, statue wire things, and it's got, like, they're massive, and then inside there's the two little kids. Actually, I don't even know if that was at the festival. Anyway, if I can find it, I'll put it in here. But if not, excuse my nose, it's raining. I will just hope that you can imagine it. But basically, if you just imagine, you know what it is. Sorry to go all around today, but when you those two people, they're sitting back to back, and then the little kids are trying to just reach out because it's the inner child that needs the love. Now I know I've gone a little bit off topic here, but hopefully you're picking up what I'm putting down. But ultimately, if we go back to the start where I began, is like anything can be used for good or evil. Anything can be used for whatever intention is set. So you being the driver and the main character of your life, what are you going to use the tools that you have at your disposal? How are you going to use them? What intention are you putting behind what you're using? Whether it's AI, whether it's the knife and fork on your plate, whether it's your words that you are speaking, whatever it might be, how are you going to use that? And the words actually that you're speaking and saying, not only to others, but to yourself. So not just the stuff you're saying out loud, but the stuff you're saying to yourself. How are you speaking to yourself? If you were saying what you said to yourself to a friend, would they be your friend for much longer? How are you speaking to yourself? What are you saying? That's such one of the biggest, most powerful tools, and how we speak to ourselves and how we honor who we are and where we're at, that's massive. That's massive. So, and that can go back to the inner child thing too. Like if you imagine yourself as a little tacker and you're saying those things to yourself as an adult, like would you say that to yourself as like a little 5-year-old, 8-year-old? Would you say those things? And maybe just imagine yourself as a little tacker. What would you say? What would they need to hear? What would the little version of yourself need to hear? What would they want to hear? Would they just want a hug? They just want you to be with them. Like whatever it might be, think about that, So yeah, I sort of went off and back on a tangent. But if you're still here, thanks for sticking with me. And yeah, I just feel like sometimes we all just need to remember to honor ourselves and to be intentional and think about like how we're showing up. So, okay, we might not have control over what, whoever it is that's bringing this AI to life and all that sort of stuff, but we do have control of who we are and how we show up, and we can take responsibility for that. And when we do that, and when more people do that, we shift so much. And like the tiniest shifts can create little shifts can create massive differences in timelines and where we show up and all that sort of stuff. So it's good to keep that in mind too. You think, oh, it's just a little thing, but no, like those little steps, they're the things that add up. So yeah, I think I might just leave it there for that today. And I hope that has served you in some way or sparked some ideas, thoughts, or inspiration. And if not, well, thanks for being around for however long I've been speaking for. And yeah, feel free to leave a comment or share your insights. I always love hearing from you. So yeah, but thanks for being here, and I will catch you in another one of these at some stage, I'm sure.